From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Kent's Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Good afternoon, everyone. We take a look at some of the cameras across Northern California. We're really not seeing a lot of rain out there for many of us. However, there are still some of us, you're saying, well, what are you talking about? I've been seeing rain this morning, even some snow in the higher elevations, and that certainly is the case. It's just not very widespread. You can see close to the noon hour, things are fairly dry out towards the Crescent City area, and as we take you out to Lake Oroville, North Forebay, just a couple of those, we'll call it partly cloudy skies at this point. Looks a little breezy out over the lake right now, and we'll probably be looking at those breezy conditions here continuing throughout the day today. Lassen Park out at the south entrance, which by the way has about 9 feet of snow out at the visitor center, but overall you're looking at the mostly cloudy skies, and not to mention, of course, just the snowy field of snow. Beautiful for maybe snowshoeing or whatever you like to do out there. Taking a look at our headlines, we've got a cooler start to the week, but there is some rain and some snow in the forecast today. As I mentioned, it's just not going to be a lot. The main event won't be here till the end of the week, and with that, snow levels starting up high on Thursday, but they will lower as we go into Friday and into the weekend. There's that atmospheric river down to the south, not really having much of an impact on our weather. Meanwhile, we've got this trough of low pressure. You see right here, this is colder air coming down from the Gulf of Alaska. And we have a bit of a disturbance that's kind of moving what we call kind of off to our north and northeast. As it moves down in this direction, it's what's known as an inside slider. It does a few things. It brings us clouds, cooler temperatures, and not to mention some gusty winds, which we'll get into that here in a second. Right now, I want to show you as we go through the afternoon, that inside slider pushes down to the south and east, and we're still looking at most of the activity off to the north and east. Modoc County, Lassen, Plumas counties, but the rest of us looking fairly dry as we go into this evening. Tuesday is looking dry for everyone. Just some clouds coming in late in the day, especially up to the north, some high clouds for your Tuesday. Then by Wednesday, we're beginning to see the forecast models pick up the timing of this rain. So as we go into noon on Wednesday, so we start off Wednesday dry. I think Wednesday morning will be dry. And then we've got some showers that'll be entering the picture here for the north coast by Wednesday around noon. That pretty quickly progresses to the east, and by Wednesday afternoon, it looks like most everyone is looking at a chance for some showers. Now you can see here it's not very heavy at all, and it won't amount to much. And you can see some of the snow in the higher elevations, but still fairly high, between 3,500 and 4,500 feet. And that's because the main pocket of cooler air hasn't really arrived at this point until probably around Friday and really the first part of the weekend. But you'll notice Wednesday afternoon, not much way in the way of rain or snow for Modoc or Lassen or even Plumas County. So probably looking at mainly dry conditions for the day on Wednesday. And it's really not until Thursday that the bulk of that rain begins to move in for everyone. Looking at your forecast rain totals through Wednesday, 5 p.m., there you can see some of the rain that starts to kind of kick in, but you see through 5 p.m., it's just not very significant. Most of it's off to the north and west. These totals are really going to start to ramp up, though, by the time we get into Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. Forecast snow totals, same situation that we're seeing here. We're just not going to see much in the way of snow because snow levels are starting off fairly high, and most of it will be to the north and a little bit off to the east into the northern Sierra. But otherwise, not a lot of snow in the forecast at this point either, at least through the middle of this week. But as we take a look at Thursday, okay, so what I want to point out are a couple of things. Number one, you see these white lines here? These are what we call isobars. And when they're really tightly packed like this is when the winds will start to pick up. So I do expect another day of gusty winds on Thursday, and the colder air is still off to our north and west. However, we're beginning to see some of that cooler air settle in, and snow levels will start to drop, but still fairly high, as mentioned, around 3,500 feet or so or higher as we go into Thursday. By the time we get into Friday, some colder air begins to move in. Look at what we call your typical horseshoe, right? We've got the rain in the valley and, of course, the snow in the mountains. It is hugging the valley. By Friday, snow levels could drop down to as low as 2,000 feet. Travel is going to be a major concern here as we go through the day on Friday. Now, the pocket of cooler air still coldest will be to our north and west. So as we go into Saturday, more of that colder air begins to settle in and snow levels drop even more. Now, Saturday is the day that I really have my eyes on for the potential for snow for the north end of the valley. At this point, I'd say at the very least, we'll see a bit of a rain-snow mix. As far as accumulating snow at the north end of the valley, around Redding, right? We're still kind of up in the air. One of those things we'll have to kind of keep watching here very closely. But this is when I expect some of the coldest air to be here, is around Saturday and Sunday. But by Sunday, we see how everything kind of pushes off to the east. Still a chance for a few snow flurries here and there for the higher elevations, but things at that point are kind of wrapping up. Monday of next week looks fairly dry. This is a weak system coming in for next Tuesday, but it doesn't look like it's going to be quite as active as we go into the middle of, or as we go into the early parts of next week. Taking a look at the rainfall outlook, this is just a general look here. So when you get in these little blue colors here, the light shades of blue, that's about an inch. And I do expect for places like Red Bluff and Chico closer to a half of an inch, right? Now, again, this is through Sunday. So we're not seeing a ton of rain in the valley with this system. Most of the rain will be out along the coast, where you're kind of getting in these reds and oranges, where we're seeing upwards of 3, 4, maybe 5 inches of rain for some of those areas along the coast here, and even some heavier snow heading off to the east here. And this is all right here, mainly going to be in the form of snow, so it's going to equal several feet of snow as you start heading off to the higher elevations. Taking a look at the winds now, we can see here the strongest winds are off to the north and east, and this is to be expected because this is where the wind advisory is in effect through the night tonight. Taking you into the afternoon today, still pretty gusty, but the winds are showing signs of dying down. A little breezy for some of us in the valley, and then the wind should die down by Tuesday. Now, as I mentioned, we are seeing the winds picking up on Thursday, and we're beginning to see signs of that as early as Wednesday. By Wednesday, there's some of the winds picking up for the coast, off to the north and northeast, and then by Thursday, these winds should even be stronger. Now, taking a look at your wave heights as we take you into your Tuesday, we're at 12 feet here for today, but by the time we get into Tuesday, they will drop down to about 9 feet. So good news, we're starting to see those wave heights begin to drop a bit. Temperatures in the low 60s for the valley and in the mid to upper 40s for the higher elevations. And there you can see out along the coast in the low 50s for your daytime highs today. Looking at your 7-day outlook, let's take a look at that here. So here we have it. You can see here, off and on chances for rain. Now, we're going to be dry for Tuesday and most of Wednesday. You saw there. By Wednesday afternoon, we may start to see some of that rain kicking in here. But snow levels starting Thursday through the weekend, you see how they start to drop. 3,000 feet from Mount Shasta City on Thursday, 2,000 feet Friday, and down to about 1,000 feet over the weekend, and the heaviest snow will be on Saturday. Taking a look at your 7-day outlook for the valley, and there it is. You can see the chance. Very slim chance. Mainly dry out there for today. Dry for Tuesday, Wednesday under mostly sunny skies. And then showers on Thursday as well as Friday. But snow levels dropping down to as low as 1,000 feet and locally lower. Now what that could mean is a rain-snow mix for places like Redding, Red Bluff. I think you'll be hard pressed, and most likely just in the form of showers for places like Chico for your Saturday and Sunday. Taking a look at your 7-day outlook for the North Coast. The showers today, inland as well as parts of Trinity County, maybe seeing a slight chance as well. Otherwise dry through Wednesday. There are those showers for Thursday, Friday through the weekend. Snow levels also dropping for Weaverville down to about 2,000 feet. I do expect to see a chance for snow, at least a mix for snow on Friday for Weaverville, and a better chance for that accumulating snow and some heavy snow at that coming in, especially on Saturday.